Today I'm in the Science Museum at the robot exhibit, and today we're with humanoid. She's a humanoid Japanese robot. As you can see, she's looking at me right now. It's quite creepy. And she's my new girlfriend.
Robots. What is the future? There once was a maker who built the best robot the world had ever seen. It could do anything you asked it. So one day, the maker asked the robot to make him a cup of tea. So the robot replied, "No." Suddenly, a wash of confusion plagued the maker's mind. "I programmed this to do anything, so why isn't it making me a cup of tea?" thought the maker. Could it possibly be capable of refusing me? Is it unable to make me a cup of tea? Or have I made a mistake? Has something gone wrong in the programming, so it can only reply with the answer, "No"? Then, all of a sudden, the maker realized the power he had created. For the robot, no matter how useless, no matter how defiant or how badly it had been made, had one power the maker didn't. For it was the maker who had spent his short biological life, his soul, making this robot. But the robot now had a piece of the maker's soul in it. The robot now had the power of time, the power to exist for millennials, the power to work out how to reproduce and exist even longer, and the power to experience and use the most fundamental of energies in the universe, the power of time. When I stared into the face of a robot, I can only describe the boundless excitement that leapt through my mind of the interaction I was about to have, only to be disappointed that the robot I was facing either didn't interact at all or had limited interaction, worse than the computer with which I'm making this video out of. It meant my video could no longer be a fantastical story of the robot apocalypse or enslavement of the human mind into a microchip, but instead a rather dull depiction of the reality of robotics and automation, that they simply require humans to even do things.
She's not moving.
Humans to turn them on, humans to maintain them, humans to design and make them, and most importantly, humans to control their demonstrations. Sure, the robots we saw were automatic. They weren't operated by a human-led controller, unlike in the 1960s, but they weren't allowed to be in anything other than a demonstration mode. Some were even kept off, too expensive to run, too expensive to break, and definitely too expensive to mass market for consumers to buy. You might at this point be relieved that the chilling reality of the science fiction world is not yet upon us. But part of me is somewhat disappointed that the televisual and computer-aided interactions I have give me more joy than that which I experience with these mechanical-led robots. To get to the bottom of why, I have to examine what robots are really for and what they are really trying to achieve. There are two main types of robots, the task robots and the humanoid robots. Task robots suffer from the flaw of all machines, that they simply see things too binary. Sure, you can get a machine to compute, get a machine to tell red from green, get a hand to grip, but ask a machine to pick strawberries and all kinds of leaves and even rotten strawberries might end up in your crop. Even if we suppose it's perfect at the task, it requires charging and maintenance, and put simply, would currently cost farmers more than they can make back, hence why it's not done. Not to mention, in other industries, the overwhelming safety concerns a machine focused on one task can easily ignore. They need an awareness of everything in its environment to carry out that task safely. A machine just making paper clips can get better and better at making paper clips, till one day it makes humans into paper clips and even destroys itself to make more paper clips. For a machine to be truly intelligent and effective, we need to experience terminal values as well as instrumental values. That means its goal is to achieve happiness, life and love rather than just the task we ask it to do. That way, it can safely carry out the task with the purpose of human betterment in mind. It can improve its tasks, making them more safe and more human considerate. Making this kind of self-thinking robot seems far off, but one can't help but hope and exclaim, "We'll get there one day." When you think about humanoid robots, you enter the rather creepy world of imitation. Imitating our movements, imitating our senses, and even imitating our psychology. Humans make mistakes, but machines don't. Machines take input and turn it into outputs. Humans take influence and roll with it till they die. Firstly, the processes that go into our movements can often be taken for granted, but they are extremely complex. We balance and counterbalance. We perceive depth. We have weight evenly distributed, and we preserve energy which we make from food, of movement that takes us years to perfect. A robot, on the other hand, has to be able to do it as soon as it's made, taking limited energy from electric batteries. Then our senses. Humans can recognize this car from this car. We can use our visual senses to determine colour, shape, size and basic features to recognize an object under the categories we have created in our vocabulary. We feel pain to make us more safe. But imagine programming pain into the mind of something else. What if you get it wrong? Would the machine just constantly feel pain? Then human psychology and experience, explored in the movie A.I. If we can make a robot love, then can we also make it hate? If a robot hates, can it get angry, kill us even? Why would we make a robot love? Is it really ethical to make anything experience the same hardships and misdoings that human beings can feel? To make us feel better? The Japanese believe every object has a soul. On looking at these robots, I believe that to be partly true. The care and time gone into making these machines is plain to see, but people in the West feel a sense of unease when talking about these objects that aren't quite human. It's called the uncanny valley. I mean, sure, these robots aren't going to kill me or make love to me anytime soon. They can't even afford to make them talk back to me as part of the exhibit. But when examining the future of robots, one shouldn't look at the way the robots are reacting to me, but rather the way I'm reacting to the robots.
They do everything real dogs do, except of the business. You can't recognize
You just done demo mode, aren't you? Oh, you're cute. Can I have sex with them?
I want to talk to them. I want to play with them, date them, dance with them. I want them to do everything a human can do, and to them never not to be able to do something. But these robots of today can't. They have limitations, and I eventually get bored of talking to them. But there lies the answer to what robots will be like in the future, and even what humans will be like when we integrate more with technology. The robots don't get bored. They don't give up, they don't walk away, and they always walk in the direction you tell them to. Robots, unlike me, and like the first machines ever created, have time on their side. So it's not a question of if a robot will be able to do this or that, but when. If you like this video, let me know in the comments, join in the debate, and subscribe.